What's going on, everybody? It's Shaka here. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be continuing our discussion on Steam hardware, and kind of now more diving into the frame and the machine and really what the future is for them. So as you guys know, previous video, Steam controller has released. Reserves are coming up tomorrow. It sold out really quickly, and the price was about $100, which is higher than Valve wanted, but not by too much. Since it's just a controller, it's not a ton of RAM in it. And so, that's kind of where we're at. And so people are now discussing what is the future of the Steam machine and the Steam frame, mainly the Steam machine. I've heard like nobody talking about the Steam frame for some reason, which is crazy because that's really what I care more about. I do care about the Steam machine, but in all likelihood, I'm probably not going to get one. I know I said I plan on getting all three, and that still kind of is the case, but so far my priority is the frame. Frame, controller, machine. Now, since the controller came out first, obviously I'm going to get that. I'm not really concerned about getting the machine. I have a full PC setup. I have a dedicated PC setup here. In another room, I have a dedicated console setup with like a PS5 and Xbox Series X, etc. And so I don't really find the need to get a machine. I just don't need to. Like the only place I would put it would be like here. You see my TV in the back here right now. That is my Steam Deck with the Steam Deck dock and the 2015 Steam controller, which I'm going to change with the new one, obviously. The only place it would probably go is there. It would just be I would just end up using the new Steam controller with the new Steam machine on that TV, and then my Steam Deck. I just keep on the dock on the side to charge it and to store it. Because I'm not going to put it in my console room because again, I have all my consoles there. I don't really need it. So, it's whatever. But I don't really I probably don't plan to get a machine. At least not for a little while. I most likely will get one at some point, but that's just not a priority for me right now. What I really want is, oh my god, what the fuck? What I really want is the frame. That's kind of been what I've been most excited for. Frankly. Future VR, new stuff coming out here, and I'm really quite excited for that. And that I'm quite interested to see what it's. According, I think it was to Mike Straw. I could be mistaken. Sorry, Mike, if I'm putting this on your name. But I don't think it was Mike Straw. Actually, it was another insider saying how like the RAM pricing has affected the machine the most. Obviously, the frame not as much, but the machine it's been kind of really fucking with. And so Valve, really they sold the Steam Deck at a loss. They really truly care about affordability and about getting the price right. And so this has really been fucking them up. Now we have been seeing that Valve has been getting a copious amount of shipments of quote unquote game consoles into their facilities. So it's a fair assumption that those are the Steam machines. And so, now it's a matter of them waiting for pricing. Remember, everything's finished. Everything's done. Everything's ready to launch. Everything was going to launch together early this year, but RAM prices fucked it up. Everything's ready to go. They're just waiting until prices get to where they kind of want it to be. I think they know that it's not going to be perfect. Like they didn't want the controller to be $100. They wanted it to be like 70 or 80. But I think they know that they have to kind of pull the trigger at some point, and I think they're just waiting for the right moment for that. Now, in regards to HLX, which again, HLX update is another video, but in my personal opinion, there has not been talk about HLX recently besides Tyler McVicker's video on the Miro board and how Valve's polishing it up, obviously, and whatever. There's been no release date kind of news. My assumption is I don't think it's going to be announced until the hardware is in people's hands. More specifically, the Steam machine, because that's what they're pairing it with. The Steam machine is their front runner for this, because HLX is not a VR game. This isn't like Alex and the Index. No, this is a flat screen traditional Half-Life game. The machine paired along with the controller are the main front runners for this. The frame is also, in the front, but it's kind of more of a side thing. They're not as focused on it, I don't think. It is the next step in VR. Obviously, I care a great deal about that. Of course, many people do. Um, but clearly, Valve is focused on the machine and launching software that pairs with the machine. Because again, it's not a VR game. So, I don't think we're going to be getting an announcement until the machine is in people's hands. In my personal opinion, I don't think we're getting an announcement until either A, all three pieces of hardware are in people's hands, or at least the machine is in people's hands, unless they launch the machine and the frame at the same time. Which I don't know if they're going to do or what's going on with that. But we actually don't know what they're going to do with that. We're just waiting and seeing. I think they're going to launch it. I think they're going to go machine next and then the frame. I don't think the machine and the frame are going to be at the same time. I think it's going to be separate. But I don't think, at the minimum, we are not going to see a HLX announcement until the machines are in people's hands. That's my assumption. With the way things are right now and how volatile the pricing is and how hectic it is, I just don't see Valve announcing HLX alongside the machine. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, I'm not saying it's not really kind of paired together, but I do believe we're not going to get an HLX announcement until the machine is in people's hands. I firmly believe that. I could be wrong. I might be fucking wrong. Or at a minimum until we get a hard machine announcement. Like it'll be like, let's say the machine gets announced and like a couple days later it's HLX gets announced. Like that I can maybe see. But again, Valve is just in the polishing phase. Like I think the last video I saw by Tyler was, or last update on even on like Twitter or something, was talking about how like they're just kind of working on putting like workshop tools together for people to use. Like the only thing pushing this back is the hardware problem and how it's getting delayed because of RAM prices. That is the issue here. The game is, to our fullest knowledge and extent, known, pretty much done. They're just doing polishing and fixing stuff up. Like we know it's pretty much done. So we're kind of just waiting. One little thing I do like to say though about Valve announcements is that the air is different before Valve announcement. Before the Steam hardware got announced, there's rumors, things leak, pictures are leaking, videos are leaking, clips, etc. That always happens before a Valve announcement. Same thing when the Steam controller got announced or got released. There was talks about it, there was leaks about it, etc. There's always something happening. Something in the air, something's being talked about, something's getting leaked before it gets announced. Or before something happens. Alex was the same way. A little bit of a buzz in the air, things being talked about, and boom, it really happened. So that's kind of the feeling and kind of what you have to look for. But I do believe we'll be getting a Steam Machine announcement. I don't even know. I like to give you guys an estimate, but I really don't know. Summer Games Fest is coming up in June. Nothing's going to be announced there, guys. I hate to break your fucking spirit, but nothing will be announced there. Now, if by some fucking miracle the machine gets announced before then and they reveal HLX before Summer Games Fest, maybe Valve will like release like a new like little clip preview trailer of HLX after they announce it themselves. But unless that's the case, no. Valve will not announce it at Summer Games Fest. Nothing will be announced by Valve at Summer Games Fest. Nothing will happen at Summer Games Fest relating to Valve. Nothing will happen unless Valve already announced stuff prior. I hate to break your guys' spirits, but this is reality, and this is the case. Okay? I don't want to piss you guys off, but this is reality. Nothing's going to happen unless Valve's already announced and talked about shit beforehand. It's just the reality of it. Unfortunately. I still see HLX being announced by the end of the year. I mean, really, but remember, all the hardware was supposed to launch early 2026, so like by March. That was kind of the timeline, and now we're in fucking May. So with the way things are looking right now, it's volatile. We don't really know what's happening. We're kind of just waiting and seeing. Controller finally launched, thank God. So clearly things are moving a little bit within the company. I think the machine's going to be next, and the frame last. The frame is obviously going to be the most expensive piece of hardware. Probably. Actually, yeah, it will be obviously. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, we're gonna do another HLX video, kind of covering any new stuff on the Miro board and leaks and the workshop tools they're working on. We're gonna do a separate video on HLX, but I just kind of wanted to talk about the state of the hardware and okay, hearing shit. Kind of just state of the hardware and where we're at really. So again, I apologize for sounding tired. I am tired. The only time of the day I get to record stuff is late at night. Again, unless it's summer, then I can finally do stuff again. But right now, again, it's hard. I don't have time during the day to record. I just can't do it, unfortunately. So that's that. But I appreciate you guys kind of sticking with me while things have been slow. That's just how it is during the year. Um, It'll be the same thing next year. I hate to say it, but it's very hard unless it's like how it was back in like November and whatever, like with super hype mode and like things are happening. Like then I can kind of push through it and just get everything and get it going. Unless it's something like that, like yeah, it's just not possible or viable for me to be pumping out videos like crazy. Now once June hits, year's over, WWDC happens, then I'm able to pump out videos a lot more often and we can talk about some more stuff. But right now, I'm just kind of recording and uploading periodically when I feel like it, like when I'm in the mood. Like today, I was like, you know what, I can go for a little bit of recording. So that's what I did. Um, 'Cause I don't like to keep you guys in the dark for too long. But I've only been uploading like, I don't know, once or twice a month right now, if that. So I'm not a fan of that upload schedule, but I got to do what I got to do. There's nothing else I can really do about it, to be frankly honest with you guys. I wish there was. Um, but just the way things are during the year, it's just not possible for me to be just pumping out videos. Like during the summer, like I'm gonna be uploading a couple times a week, um, probably a little more than that. Um, my God, my voice is getting really raspy. I hate that. I hate that so much. Like after I'm sick, I have to have like a cold, and my voice decides to just like completely cut out and sound like I'm dragging it through a cheese grater. I hate that shit. Um, I'm just cause I'm tired. Um, I appreciate you guys for sticking with me and kind of getting your information from me. I repipe a lot of stuff. I try to mix in my own thoughts and opinions and standpoints and what I'm seeing, and also kind of repiping what's going on because it's very hard to keep up with like 30 insiders and data miners and etc. And so I try to consolidate a lot of that information into kind of an easy format for you guys, and also giving you my own kind of views and my own findings on stuff too. So kind of a good mix for you guys there. Um, because like between all these insiders, you got Tyler McVicker, you got Gabe Follower, you got Mike Straw when he decided to speak on Valve, a whole bunch of other people I follow. It gets very convoluted, and so I'd like to make it concise for you guys to be like, yo, this is the important stuff. This is what's happening. Here's some details. Here's what I think. Here's what's most likely going to happen. That's kind of how I like to do it, and to give you guys an easy format, in a video that's 20 minutes or less. Unless we're doing like a deep dive or we're covering some announcements or some shit, I like to keep the videos bite-sized, not too long, something you can sit down in one sitting and be like, okay, perfect. I'm up to speed now. That's what I want for you guys. Not some hour-long bullshit about me rambling about, oh, well, this pixel's different than this pixel. No. You can go to MatPat for that. You can go to Game Theory for that shit. That's not what I'm doing. I'm too lazy for that shit, man. Or go to Tyler McVicker for that, bro. You know, he's analyzing every fucking file, every string of data. That's not me. I'm also not that experienced. Um, but yeah, I'm a fellow viewer like you guys, man. Like you guys, I'm in the same position you are. I'm no different. I'm not. I actually want to make that pretty clear. Like I'm not in any of position of like I don't know more than you guys. Like I'm a viewer. I'm a watcher. I'm a consumer. I'm a fan, just like you guys are. All I do differently is that I make videos. I share my opinions, and I kind of do some my own creative stuff. But I'm no different than you guys are. You know, I have no special connections into Valve or any company. I'm, I'm just here doing what I love. That's all I'm doing. You know, I'm not here. I'm not an insider. Never claimed to be, and I don't want to claim to be because I don't ever want to be quoted or. That's why when I would say like, "Oh, I think this is going to happen," this is speculation. This is my opinion. I am. This is not backed by strings of evidence. I'm just giving my thoughts on it. So please, uh, take what I say when I'm speaking about my opinion with a grain of salt. You know, don't think to yourself, "Oh, well, Hazard Shocker said it. This must be what's happening." No, no, that hasn't happened yet, thankfully, but I'm sure it will in the future at some point. But yeah, happy to be here. I'm happy to do this stuff, and yeah, I'm excited for Steam hardware. Go get your I'm gonna leave a link in the description of the Steam controller video, so you guys can get your reservations tomorrow. But yeah, apart from that, I will see you guys in the next